Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Max Shoots Film. Okay, today it's another Voigtlander video. I recently picked up the Voigtlander Ultron 40mm f2 aspherical lens. I'm on a journey to replace my Leica glass and my Leica film bodies. They're all broke, can't use them anyway. Might as well find some good glass. Ran across Voigtlander, bought all of it new on Amazon. I'll put those links below. And what I'm doing is just testing them out. And I decided to film a video, bring you along with me, and let's talk about my initial thoughts. This video is just one roll of black and white film, Ilford HP5. In an upcoming video, I'll shoot some color film with it, but let's shoot one roll with it, do a quick review, just so we can get a feel for this lens. Everyone talks about this lens nonstop online, so it's really cool to actually get my hands on it and shoot it. 40mm is a new focal length for me. I have absolutely never shot a 40mm before. It seemed really weird. And, you know, I was shooting Leica for almost 2 years, and you can get 40mm lenses for it, but there were not 40mm specific frame lines in Leica bodies, so I avoided it. Very rigid and entrapped in that Leica frame line life, right? With the SLR, it's what you see is what you get through it, so it's very liberating. All right, we're gonna go to a really cool location at first. I'll save it for the video, and then we'll go to downtown Charlotte. Then we'll meet back here, do a tabletop review of the lens, look at some images, and then we'll call it a day. All right, guys, I'll see you right back here. Okay, today, we're gonna start with the Voigtlander Ultron 40mm f2 lens. Hopefully this will be a viable replacement for my Leica Summicron 35mm aspherical. This lens is aspherical as well. So what we're gonna do is go shoot in downtown Charlotte, but we wanted to start at this really cool statue called Metamorphosis, which is in just some IT park. I just ran across it online. I think I was looking on TripAdvisor for things to do in Charlotte, and this popped up. It's a massive 25-foot tall spinning metallic head, and I thought it would be cool. I'm shooting everything on black and white today. I'll be shooting Ilford HP5. I'll rate it at 800, shoot it at 400, and develop at 800 in DD-X. Well, you're probably saying, why are you shooting it at 800 ISO? I have another roll that I need to develop, and I shot at 800, and I don't want to do a separate batch because I'm lazy, so I'll just shoot it at 400, develop it at 800. Okay, I'm gonna grab a few shots, and then we'll hop in the car, and we'll head downtown to Charlotte. So I want to get it from a few different angles. I want to frame it with the building in the background, but I also want to get it with the clouds reflecting off of it and different angles of the nose. Hopefully get some reflections off of the water. So what'd you guys think? That metamorphosis, sculpture, statue, art installation was amazing. And like I said earlier in the video, it was just something I randomly found on, I think it was like TripAdvisor, things to do in Charlotte. Timing was perfect because it had recently been shipped off for repairs and it's back now. All right, so let's talk about the lens real quick from a technical aspect. Then let's review a couple of images and wrap this video up. All right, as you can tell, this lens is super small in form factor. It actually only weighs just over 9 ounces, I think like 260 grams. So it's non-obtrusive, doesn't stick out very far. I mean, let's compare it to, so this is a Nikon 35 f2.8, and they are similar in size. The Nikon is a little lighter, but it's a plastic body, and this is a 2.8. I mean, hold on, look at this. If you compare it to Zeiss's f2 lens, so f2 Zeiss Distagon, giant, heavy, it weighs as much as my camera and the lens. Then you have the Voigtlander 40, all right, so this is a 35mm f2, Voigtlander f2, and Nikon 35 f2.8. It's insane how much larger this f2 is, and I would say the quality is very comparable. Now, I've yet to shoot color film on this Voigtlander 40mm. I had a roll of black and white that I wanted to shoot, specifically the Ilford HP5. And as I said earlier in the video, I had already shot one roll metered at 800. So I absolutely wanted to shoot another one at 800 because black and white is insane and every ISO needs to be developed at different times, not like C41, which you can throw 800, 400, 200, 100, all in the same batch, same time. So shot the black and white. Now, 40mm is kind of a weird focal length for me. It's in between that 35 and 50. And a lot of times I find 35mm way too wide for what I'm doing, walking around town or on landscapes. And then 50, depending on how close I am to the buildings I want to shoot, is too tight, too zoomed in. So this 40 seems like it's going to be absolutely perfect, especially when I pair it with the 58mm. So there'll be about 18mm of difference. And just announced, Voigtlander is releasing a brand new F-mount lens, right? You would think with all the Z-mount new mirrorless Nikon coming out, they would no longer release an F-mount, but there's a lot of F-mount cameras still out there. They're releasing a 28mm f2 lens for Nikon, so I'm really pumped, right? I'll have the 20, the 40, and the 58. And I think that pretty much completes my set, other than a little longer lens. When I'm shooting mountains, I definitely want something around a 105 so I can pick off interesting points of interest. All right, this lens also is aspherical. What does aspherical mean? Like, you always hear that in videos, like, yeah, it's an aspherical lens. All it means is it's a very specialized piece of glass that removes aberrations, chromatic, and just imperfections, and allows them with one piece of glass to do the job which many other pieces of glass would have to correct for. And aspherical lenses typically are sharper and, like I said, less chromatic aberration. In this video, I did not shoot color, so I don't know what that chromatic aberration looks like, but in this camera right now, I have a roll of Ektachrome 100 that I'm gonna be doing a developing slide film at home video, so we'll see how that performed. Overall, I'm crazy pleased with this lens. The weight, the form factor, the f-stop f2, that makes it plenty fast for me. My fastest Leica glass was only f2 as well, so it's right there with it. Very happy with it. But, you know, we can talk about everything all we want, weight, feel, but it all boils down to the images. So let's grab the laptop, open it up, review some images, and then we're done. All right, so let's jump in and take a quick look at 5 images, and then we're done. First image. All right, so forgive the graininess. Remember, this is HP5 pushed to 800, and I was shooting for the first time Nikon F3P, P for press. I bought it off eBay. excellent, plus, 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 of course. And what do you know? The shutter failed on probably every third shot. So some of my favorite images of the day were trashed by the shutter, and this is one of them. But I definitely wanted to show it for a couple reasons. One, it's my favorite person on earth, Danny. Second, it really retained detail even in her necklace. You see the braiding here, still there. This very fine chain, instead of turning that all into mush, you can still see the contrast between each loop of the rope. And that's the value in a Voigtlander lens, a Zeiss lens, and a Leica lens. That micro contrast is absolutely key. If the camera wouldn't have killed this one, it would have been amazing. But c'est la vie. Here we go. Let's go to the next one. So here, I just really love how it handled the contrast in a lot of the finer areas, as well as the detail. I mean, you can even see the mounts for the doors, the individual brackets there. Just a really strong and sharp image. And it looks sharper than it is just because of that micro contrast. Even up here, the contrast between the light and dark areas, and even the somewhat dark and really dark areas, is really well defined. Let's hop into another one real quick. So this was one where I stood underneath a mirrored statue, and again, just crazy detail. Individual mustache hairs there. The Nikon logo is what I focused on, and you can see it's super sharp. Lots of contrast. Just an amazing lens. I could not be happier for a $419 lens, brand new. I'm pretty sure you can get it used in the low 300s. Tremendous value. Check this one out. Walking into an open air mall. We'll focus in on this crisp sign here. So at normal magnification, you can't even see the words. Wow, we can tell they sell salads, wraps, and soups. The detail on the fish is not lost there. You can see all of the individual scales. And let's zoom out. I mean, you can barely even tell that's a fish there. Zoom in. The sign on the glass up here, when you look at normal magnification, you can't even tell that's up there. Just tremendously sharp lens. That aspherical element really delivers here. As well as, let's see if we can see any aberration. We wouldn't see it here, of course, because it's black and white, but I was seeing if there's any haloing because the sun was right over here. Looks great. One last image. So this is the metamorphosis statue. Detail in the cloud still remains. And again, the gradation between dark and light is maintained. It doesn't become smudged in the image. It's just so delineated in every area. They really nailed it with this lens. 6 elements, 5 groups, crazy tiny 9-ounce lens for $419 brand new. What a deal. All right, guys, that's my one roll review of the Voigtlander 40mm f2. Please consider giving me a thumbs up. Helps the video more than you know. And if you're in this type of content, please subscribe. All right, guys, we'll see you next video.